Welcome back, Green Architecture. We are progressing through the shipping container home, your final project for our class. We are finally down to the SketchUp mode. So we've completed through step 6 at this point. We are at step 7, which says we will create a SketchUp drawing. You'll use SketchUp software to draw your container home. You'll include doors, windows, furniture, fixtures, and appliances. So let's get started with SketchUp. If you need a refresher to get into that, that's the purpose of this first video. I'll do a series of videos to help you through the different phases of the SketchUp process that you'll be doing over the next few days here. All right, so you may have created a shortcut um, on your menu at the top. If you've done so, great, you can click on that. Otherwise, you can go to any Google window and go to the 9 dots, and you'll just have to scroll down until you find SketchUp. If you hover over, it says SketchUp for Schools. All right. So if you click on that, that should open up SketchUp for us. And we will get started on creating a new drawing. So I'll take you through the very first steps of this. I realize I've only done 2 drawings, so we might have to kind of refresh you on a few things. So here we are at SketchUp again, and we're going to go to Create New. And if you hit the little drop-down arrow, okay, hit the drop-down arrow, we want to go a simple template in feet and inches because that's how we're drawing. Remember, we have 8-foot by 20-foot shipping containers. So simple template, feet and inches. We'll go ahead and click on that, and that should open up. And we've got our professor on there again. Remember, we don't really need him. That's just for reference to proportions and sizes. So if you want to just select him and hit delete or backspace on your keyboard, that's fine. All right, couple things, refreshers to get started here is let's go ahead and get this into a view that we can work with. So if you remember right, we're in a 3D, and we don't want 3D. We're dealing with a 2D sketch. So if we go over here to our scenes menu, it looks like a little scene board from movies. Click on that, and we'll have our scenes. And if you can think back to the 2 little projects we did together, we're going to go to the top view. So if we go to the top view, now I've just got the y-axis and the x-axis. I'm going to get that window out of my way. And before we progress, let's go ahead and get our save link set up in place. So let's go up here to save, and it's going to give you a opportunity to name this. So let's just go where it says untitled, we can click in that box and backspace, and let's just put container house underscore and then type in your last name. I'll put in my last name, and we should be good from there. So container house underscore your last name. We'll hit OK. And it should give us the option of where we want to save it. We're going to make sure we go to our Google Drive. You should have a folder that is like this. So it should say something like GA SketchUp. If you can find that, GA SketchUp 7 or 5, whichever hour you're in. I'm just going to put it in my generic GA SketchUp folder. Select that and come down to the bottom here. So just a single click on that. Come down to the bottom to where it says select and select it, and that should save it. And now we know that we're working on the correct one. When we're done, it's easy to just hit save. So that first step, we've opened up into a simple template, feet and inches. We've saved it to our Google Drive, so we've got that saving path going. All right, we did our scenes. We're on the top view. My suggestion would be this. Let's drag this screen down, and just to help you make this a little bit easier, at the very bottom of our menu, if you click on that, there is a hand. Hand is used to pan our screen. So if I select that, I can just drag this using just your left mouse button. Just hold it down, drag this over. Okay. And then we're going to start by creating shipping containers. And what are they? They are a rectangle. All right. So let's go up here. Remember, if we want to turn a tool off, we can just hit the little arrow or the select button. we're going to slide down to the rectangle tool. And I'm just going to draw out in the middle. It really doesn't matter where we draw from, but I'm going to start out in the middle. I'm going to make a rectangle. And if you look at my box down here, I can go ahead and tell that how big I want it to be. All right. So I'm going to make a rectangle that is 20 feet, okay, comma, 8 feet, and hit enter. And I should have a rectangle. I can zoom out a little bit, hit my select button, and now I should be good to go. Take my hand and I can move that back into the middle of my screen. All right, there's my first shipping container, 8 foot by 20 foot. All right, now we want to create the thickness of the walls to make this look a little bit more realistic. All right, so to do that, we're going to use the offset tool, and it was in the push-pull menu. So if you hit the arrow there, there's the offset tool. I'm going to select it. I'm going to just click on this and then move my mouse out. And we are going to make 4-inch thick walls on this. All right. So look at my distance menu down here again. And if I'm moving my mouse out, I want it to say 4 inches. So it looks like half of the quotation, 4 inches, and hit enter. And I've just offset that. Now I'm going to hit select again. But you can envision here's my 8 by 20, 8 foot by 20 foot shipping container. We have made a 4-inch wall all the way around it. All right, there's their starting spot. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. I'm going to pan this guy down just to get him out of the way for our next step. All right, now we could draw that 4 times if we wanted to, or an easier way, if we want to just copy and paste it, we can select that whole shipping container by just dragging over it, using your mouse and just dragging across it, it turns blue. What do I want to do? I want to copy and paste it. So keyboard shortcuts, Control C copies it, Control V pastes it, and move my mouse a little bit. There it is. Okay. And I can probably go Control V again, move my mouse. There's a third one. Okay, Control V again. And I've got 4 shipping containers just like that. So I created one. I copied it by using the Control C on my keyboard, and then Control V, and I could paste 4 of them in place. Now we're kind of at the same step that we did when we did our layout in our engineering notebook. If yours are all oriented like that, you're in good shape. If yours are like mine and they weren't like that, we're going to have to move things around a little bit, and we're going to have to rotate. So I'm going to select one of my shipping containers. If I come down here to the Move tool, and notice that there is a rotate in there. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees, all right? So here's my protractor, and I'm going to just pick right, I don't know, I'll pick right in the middle of that, and then I'll just move that. Now I'm going to click once, and I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees. When I'm done, I can go ahead and click that to move that. All right. All right. So let's do the same thing up here. Let's go ahead and select this guy. We'll rotate. What do I want to do? I'm going to rotate, pick a corner. I don't want to let it touch the other objects is kind of what I'm trying to make sure I do, because if I touch the other object, it's going to stick, and we don't want these to stick yet. All right. All right, so we've got 3 of them in the correct orientation. I'm going to rotate my screen a bit, and let's pick the last one. And we're going to hit our rotate again. I'm going to pick the corner up here because I want it to rotate away from the others. All right, now I've got them rotated. So my orientation, if you remember my sketches that I've been sharing with you, that's the orientation that mine are in. And now I can start moving them around. What I believe is the easiest way to move these, we'll go back to our Move tool, turn it on. I'm sorry, let's select our shipping container first. I'm using my pan tool to move things around a little bit. And now I'm going to select this first shipping container by dragging a box around it, and it all highlights. Use my move tool. I'm going to select the corner. I'm going to line up this corner to this one. So if I select on a corner, drag it up here, select that corner, that locks them into place. Okay, so there's my first shipping container in place. Let's select another one. Okay, just drag around it to select it. Pick our move tool. Again, I'm going to put this corner right up there. Okay, so I'm going to select corner. And where do I want it to go? I'm zooming in a bit. Select that corner, locks it into place. Okay, and I'm going to pan over a little bit again. And I'll turn my drawing tool off. And I'll go ahead and select my last shipping container that's sitting out there. Use my move tool again, and I'm going to pick on the corner once again. Bring it down here. I'm going to zoom in, and I'll snap right into that corner. And I'll take my move tool. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn that off so I don't move anything incorrectly. Take my move tool, my pan tool, and if you can think back to my sketch, that's my configuration. All right? So there is your first step, is to create 4 shipping containers. We drew a rectangle. We created an offset. Then you can copy and paste it so you have 4 shipping containers. That's the initial layout. There is step 1. So that's the end of our first video, and I'll let you get that part done, get your saving done, and then we'll check in again on video 2, which will walk you through the next phase of putting in um, walls and door openings, windows, things like that. All right. Thanks for watching and have some fun working with SketchUp. See you soon, guys.